Hello, my pals, and welcome back to another episode of the Roze Garden. I am your host, Habla Rosa, aka La Rosa Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty. And in studio, I have with me today
Destiny.
Hi, Destiny. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
What are your thoughts on the future?
I don't think about the future.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years?
Doing spontaneous stuff.
Spontaneity. Honestly, that actually might fit today's theme because today we're going to be talking about Afrofuturism in an episode I want to call Weird Roses Instead of Strange Fruit. Yes. If I need to explain the strange fruit reference, just pause here and go and Google it because that's a bit much to get into. That could probably be an episode of its own. I don't want to, but probably could. But Afrofuturism, at its basic principle, is exactly what it sounds like. Afro being African/black, and then futurism, which is like the concept of the future. Afrofuturism sees black people not as a side character or as an afterthought of the future, but as a forefront in a future. This is a Afrocentric future, as opposed to the Eurocentric future that we've been seeing around us. Now, all those big words, you still with me? Do you need any breakdowns? Did you have any questions before we dive?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm good.
All right.
I think.
So, if you had to come up with your own idea of what a black future looks like, paint me a picture. What's something you think that would exist in a black future?
Okay. So let me get this straight. Let's say that. What do you mean by black future?
Like, you as a black person in the future
Mm-hmm.
will really, really throw us in the future just to give it a full take. 300 years from now, you're existing in this time.
Oh, for sure.
What do you think as a black person navigating this space? If this were your story specifically, what would be in this future?
300 years from now. So, I guess my perspective on life is just always gonna fall back to talking about technology. So, I'm just gonna start talking about that. Just talking until you tell me to stop. So I think that since at least the 1980s, the advancements in technology have been exponential. So something that I would see is that people this is kind of hard to articulate in the sense of I thought about how there's been so much talk about how people are trying to upload their minds to the cloud and basically just kind of exist forever because you're gonna be stored on some server somewhere.
Doesn't Elon Musk already have one of those mind chip thingies?
He has a Neuralink, and so what I know from it so far is just that he can access the internet from his mind. But I'm not sure if that's been more advanced since the last time I've heard about it. But there's something like that, which is kind of weird. I kind of went off tangent, so I don't remember where I was going about a black future in 300 years and why I talked about uploading your minds to the cloud.
I'm sorry, but you were talking about exponential technology.
Yeah, but I was saying I forgot why. Because I remember the question about a black future 300 years from now, but my mind just kind of stopped processing my thought. And
brains do be checking out. That's
they do. Okay. Let me just say that. I don't know. I feel I have a thought, but I keep getting new thought after new thought after new thought, so my brain's not keeping up with that. So I guess. So one theory I had on life was just that whenever you would see projected futurism, so I'm not going to say retrofuturism per se, but just when people give you a glimpse into the future.
Wait, time out. Explain retrofuturism for the people in the back.
Retrofuturism was a concept that popped up like in the 50s and the 60s and stuff. So like when the Flintstones came about, the exact opposite came about. So like the Jetsons. And so like how the Jetsons is basically like a projected future of like in the 50s there was like, you know, the housewife and like, you know, like
just this home, dynamic kid, pet.
Yeah, this type of like 50s cultural values, Eurocentric cultural values, and take that, but put it in the year 2012, or what they thought 2012 was going to look like, right? And so, like, that's kind of, like, where I'm moving, where, like, whenever you see the future, or when people say the future, you close your eyes and you probably see, like, concrete buildings and, like, flying cars and, like, you know, just this really interesting, like, round building design that's, like, really funky shape and stuff like that. But they're still really blank. There's no art in these features. And so I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, maybe like it's because they stopped teaching the arts, stopped funding the arts and funding math and tech. So people lose this like ability, not ability per se, but just like this drive and passion for art, and it's like just this blank universe. And so I think in a real 300 year from now reality, I don't think it's going to become blank like that. I think that there will be more artistic creation since we're going to start having things automated mostly. So there will be more time for people to work on art. And so that being said, I think that like Black people with like our like just culture and just our like through our lens, I feel like there will be more of our art like out there, and like I don't know how to explain it per se, but like architecture will be like just so amazing because of like
the inspiration and creativity.
Yeah, pretty much. So like after that long-winded
explanation,
yeah, that's just pretty much what I'm saying, is that I think that the future will actually be like just so amazing in the sense of like
it'll be black.
Yeah. So it's like, you know how like basically everywhere they try so hard to just erase Black people as like, you know, any type of like, they're just dehumanized. So like you go somewhere, you'll see random statues of random people, but it'll be like some like random white man or some random like white person who like doesn't even have like a pertinent place in history, but they will still have a statue. But like in this future, there would be more actual constructive art pieces. It doesn't have to be a statue in memory of someone. It will just be art, something that's like beautiful to the eye and designed by someone who is Black. And it's just that like we will now have like this space and this like resource to do it. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but
I'm not sure either, but I like where you're headed with this. See, for me, I think if I had to think about a Black future, I would think, well, for starters, I have to contrast your idea of what, like, or maybe you were talking about what other people think the future's going to look like. I have to say, I think the future's going to be very, very colorful if we're in charge.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, like, imagine our 80s color palette.
I know.
Or not even just our
that
80s
teal and that, like, you know, midnight purple.
Our color palettes have always been lit. We can look back at the Egyptians. It was fucking amazing. But I have to wonder, especially with myself, because we do be talking up in this brain of mine.
Staff conference.
Exactly, full like conference meeting in my office, 3:00. How do I want to say this? Okay, how do I want to do this? It's so hard.
It's hard to articulate, right? Because like I can see it when I close my eyes, but like
it feels like, okay, so the way I would think Afrofuturism is presented, for some reason I never think of it as a reality that I actually exist within. It's something that I would stumble into, like something like some sort of time machine, or being magic there for some reason. I'm in this future, and it feels like I'm bringing all of this knowledge based on my Eurocentric upbringing and everything into this space, and they're going, oh dearie, We've known about this for years now. We're leagues ahead because, admittedly, black people are always setting the curve. But if you actually allowed them to be great, I wonder just how far we would truly get. And so I can't say I have an energy, but I can say I do have a whole vibe of the future. Like, if I can explain what vibrating, but like vibrating after you getting off a roller coaster, it's that kind of feeling. And for those of you who haven't ridden roller coasters, I'm sorry for your experience. It's just a shitty life. But I feel like, from what I've learned about not from magic futurism, Afrofuturism, because I had to do a bit of investigating because I'm not an expert myself, but you and I are two of the most Afrofuturistic people I know, at least after I gathered and grasped the concept. I feel like it incorporates elements of both magic, technology, art, science, culture, obviously, but then it takes it and pushes the idea of not just what if it was black, but what if it was black and we completely had the control. So I think we could maybe start with like core principles that you think maybe would exist in the future. And then from there, after building your core principles, then you would maybe stack on a little extra flavor, if you will. Then after you stack on the principles and the flavor, then you come back and you stack on the like social etiquette and behavioral norms. Although I have to wonder, do you think if black people were in this future, do you think we still have the baggage of like slavery and oppression from now?
That's what I was thinking too. That's why I was kind of asking, like, define future. And I think that, like, whenever I think of the future, I think of an alternate dimension. Like, I don't think of like this dimension or this timeline just fast forwarded. So that's why, like, I guess, like, let's say that we stick to a lore of like it is on this timeline, then I feel like that would kind of like change my like idea of it. And so I think it's just that, like, at least with my initial like
concept,
yeah, I guess concept of Afrofuturism, like, I was like in a different timeline. And I think it's just because I took and ran with it, where like how I learned about cyberpunk or how I learned about steampunk, like, you know, like this alternate dimension where we just kept using steam for energy, and so things like that. And so that's what I thought about Afrofuturism. So let's say that
we're in this timeline.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other one, but you're right. Let's say we're in this timeline.
Oh, we can do the other one. I kind of like the other one better. Cause
I know, me too. That's why I was like, no, can we go there? Because if that's the case, then like...
I have to ask then, before we even get into it, do you think Afrofuturism as a concept is us trying to escape the world?
I think in this definition, yes. Because the definition that, like, you had explained to me earlier about, like, it's just, like, being your full self. Like, you know, like, just... your creativity is the center, right? Or can you explain it to me again?
So, the best way I can put it is, I think the way I explained it was that it's an Afrocentric future where our identities, our existence is all put in the forefront. So, instead of us having to Google hairstyles for black hair, maybe I don't know if that means we would actively see black hair, because in the future it would mean that we would have like things tailored to us as black people specifically, or if we would see everyone's hair and just within this search we would see ourselves as well, not like on like page 3.
Mm-hmm.
So does that help?
Yeah. A little bit.
I guess maybe we can start with what won't be in your Afrocentric future. White people.
I know, right?
I'm kidding.
I feel like, so let me like set up the lore in my brain is just basically that like it was just this whole like everyone was just advancing at the same pace, you know what I mean? So like
wait, what does that mean?
I guess I mean that like, you know how like the first railroad popped up like over here and like the first airplane over here, like things like that. Let's just say that everyone had like the opportunity to advance at the same rate. And so the reason I say that goes back to what's the word I'm looking for? It's exploitation, but the other word I'm looking for is imperialism, where like, you know, you go like set up in some like other country and start taking their resources. If that just wasn't a thing, everyone had the chance to advance at the same rate. So if that's the case, then like,
so you think this would be sort of like a Pangea experience?
I don't know how to explain it per se. It won't necessarily be Pangea. Everyone's just in their own like continent, country, place of origin, but like,
so separate but equal.
I mean,
it was a setup. I'm sorry.
It is a setup. It is, but I guess that like, so let me like make this make sense. I'm thinking of Afrofuturism taking place in the continent of Africa because I'm assuming that like in this universe we're just going to say slavery wasn't a thing.
So we're back to the motherland.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Or rather, we never left.
Yeah, we never left. So that's why I'm saying that like in this Afrocentric future, we would have technologies to help with our hair. So like, you know, hair braiding robots, but we wouldn't have hair straighteners. That wouldn't necessarily probably not have been a concept for us to maybe think about,
or maybe
applying heat to your hair, but
maybe we could just skip the obnoxious like hot comb that you put on the stove and burn your ears, and just skip straight to the silk press since we've all had the wisdom and technology. Because white people straighten their hair too, so maybe it would be like if they were existing within their own realm, then we could borrow that knowledge and technology and then alter it for our own existence.
Yeah.
I want to say this feels egalitarian almost, but is it selfish of me to say I kind of want to make, like, this black experience makes sense, but now I feel like I don't know how to explain.
I think I see what you mean.
Like, there's like a gap in my own feelings about this because I feel like we're now getting rid of like Afro-Asians, Afro-Indigenous people, Afro-Latinos, so on and so forth. And while I understand that in one idea, or rather in one aspect, this erasure would be a good thing because the colonization never happened to make these peoples exist. It's still begs the question of our culture.
Yeah, and like erasing them from like this timeline now, like
sort of
having a like dimension where they're not even like a thing is kind of not nice.
It's not. It doesn't feel black.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pretend that lore is not a thing.
Oh no, it's okay.
I just Marcus Garvey the lore.
If they don't want us, go back.
Yeah, right. Can I pretend that like universe wasn't a thing? Like I'm gonna erase that. I guess it's just that like creating a universe where like there is like slavery and colonization does not sound fun. That's why I was like, yeah, let's just pretend we didn't. But I guess I'm just gonna have to like sprinkle a little bit of reality every once in a while.
Well, not necessarily because it's your reality to mold. These are the thoughts that come to mind. I'm like, especially considering I am of Afro-Latino descent.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things I'm like, so then what would that mean? Does that change my entire lineage now? Would my family still be my family in the future? Because although, come to think of it, I'm of Afro-Latino descent, but my mom's maiden name is Cooley. So do with that what you will. There's Irish in there somewhere, which means
every time I look up the name Rogers, I get one from like England. So that's why I'm kind of like,
Reparations sound nice.
If I meet another Rogers, I'm gonna say
money.
Yeah.
Hands up, cash out. Ooh, we're not gonna talk about the Gross Sisters because that was the whole art staff of the Proud Family.
Oh my god, I know.
Colorist. But,
like, we'd always ask why are they blue, and now that I'm older, I'm kind of like, okay,
no,
that's just being mean.
I knew why they were blue when I was younger because my mother was very candid, but in this candidness, I also got a lot of, like, not, well, for lack of better words, ignorant family, well, no, it's a good word, actually. Ignorant family members who would, upon asking them about this candidness, because I was in disbelief from my mother, would give me the whole thing. They're called blue-black.
Oh, interesting.
Right. This is what you would call the dark-skinned people that apparently, like, disappear at night because, like, it'll be so dark you can't see them. Yeah, like, real dark-skinned people were called blue-black for some reason. It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, back at the subject at hand, because we love a good distraction in this household. What else wouldn't exist in this future? Because I'm trying to figure out maybe what this picture would look like for either of us or both of us. Because maybe we have the same image in mind and we just don't know it.
This is random. It's not that it's random per se, but I'm like kind of ignoring this like question and falling back to the previous lore of like if it was that universe, like I wonder if there would even have to be war. So would like any time and energy be spent on like military and just more on like making life better every day?
Call me nihilistic. I mean, we're still human, so I feel like there would be fights. And then like even now, like I hate to bring this up as a fact, but black on black crime isn't black on black crime. That's proximity.
Okay.
There's gonna be some sort of beef with the person next to you because, hey, why are you eating my corn? You see it's in my yard. Actually, your corn teetered over into my yard, and I asked you to cut your tree down last week, so you handle it or I'm gonna deal with it. And you didn't do it, so dinner's on us.
Now that I think about like actually I'm just gonna skip all of that. Never mind.
No, talk to me. What's going on?
I forgot. I mean, it's not that I forgot. I think it's just that like I was thinking in my head, had a thought, and I didn't have time to like
process it.
Yeah,
or
so
articulate
like,
it.
Yeah, so like if I were to say what I'm thinking out loud, it will not make sense to the outside like listener because it's a thought in my head. It's still being like created. So that's why I was like, I'll just not.
Well, in this space, because I have ADHD, and for everyone listening, I believe you understand that I have ADHD. We're allowed to spitball and backtrack later to explain.
Okay. I guess I was thinking more about the cultural aspect of like an Afrofuturist like reality, and I guess like future in general too. It's just kind of like, let's say that you are watching a show that takes place in the 60s, and then like, not that it takes place in the 60s per se, but that like it was made
inspired.
It was made in the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it is like representing culture of 2012, like that. And so if they were to show you what's on TV, they're going to show you what is like happening and pertinent in the 60s at that time, but with like a futuristic take on it. And so it's interesting when you think about it because in our future, like our actual 2012 and beyond, we see things on TV talking about like social injustices. We are like, I don't necessarily want to say normalizing the queer identity per se, but it's something that like we are like progressing with as a society.
Well,
and
no,
so
I feel like that makes sense.
It makes sense, right? And
there are some artists that imagine God coming to, or not God coming to Earth, but God existing in the future as a non-binary queer individual.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying about the cultural aspect of it. It's just that like values are changing too. So like how the, dynamic 2 kids, super masculine husband, super stay-at-home feminine wife dynamic of like the 60s is like not necessarily what we are seeing as sitcoms on TV today.
Mm-hmm.
And so like in this reality, we wouldn't be like, for example, if I want to go and like stream some movies and it's Black History Month, they got this like, listen to black voices like yeah, and it's all like 12 years a slave and stuff like that. Like I don't think in an Afrofuturist society that is going to be on like listen
now
to
we
black
definitely
voices
watching
or something.
Friday.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or at
Honestly,
least, like, some
I don't
type
even
of-
know if we'd have a Black History Month in an Afrocentric future. Because I'm thinking about it. Would we really need one if we were in a Black-centered future?
I think that's the part that keeps stumbling me, is how is it Black-centered? Like,
was it a Black Revolution?
That's what I'm saying, because, like, that's why, like, in the lore, I keep reverting it back to, like, people just didn't colonize and do all that, and that's how, like, it would be Black-centered, because, like, it would always just be...
Maybe we ended up finally having the race war and we took out Halsey and Logic.
Probably.
You know, start with them, then we move backwards. Oh, no, please. I don't want to take him out. We're going to keep him. Wait a minute, but then, do we get to keep Pet Whites? Because I want to keep Sarah Paulson. I love her. Ah! I love that. I mean, I hate it, but I love it. Like, we love that screaming bitch. We do.
That's funny.
I'm kidding.
So I'm picking up my face.
No, please do. It's comfortable. You're making me want to pick my face. Why do I have to wear makeup?
I don't know.
Honestly, my makeup today was feeling Afrofuturistic because I was feeling like if I really existed in this future, I would have amazing fucking aesthetics. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm halfway there now.
But that's what you were telling me earlier, was that, like, it's like centering your identity, right?
Right.
So, like, you are living it now, because remember you're talking about like you exist outside that realm of, like, that, like,
homogenous environment.
Yeah, so you just enjoy what you enjoy, and you, like, decorate yourself how you want to decorate yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I think that, like, as we speak, ideas are coming into my mind, but I'm, like, terrible at articulation, because I don't know.
There's a few more things I wanted to get to before I start picking petals, because when I start picking the petals, it's gonna time us out, and I don't want you to leave me yet. And actually, well, kidnapping. I'm kidding.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you actually did want me to leave, and I was like, I'm packing up as you speak.
And I would never ask you to leave. You never leave. I promise. Destiny's not in any danger. Oh my god! If anything, I'm in more danger. She called me a simp. Anyways.
And then you proceeded to tell me you wanted death on me.
I said no such thing! Do simps exist in our future?
I sure hope so.
Oh, say more. I need to know more about this now. Where do simps fit in an Afrocentric future? And are they also black?
I mean, why wouldn't you simp for your partner at the least? Or, like, somebody, like...
Okay, hold on. I'm conflicted.
Your reactions make me want to run away. I'm so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. I'm conflicted, because... Am I a simp? Oh, no.
Are you?
How can you be a simp? I've been told apparently I'm a dom. But like a soft dom, whatever that means. I don't know. I don't argue with people. It's not my energy. Maybe that's why people call me a soft dom, because I'm just not interested in
I was like, you don't argue with people. Interesting. I've seen messages.
You know what?
You showed me. I was like, oh, okay.
That's not an argument. That was because I was bored and had time to actually try and educate. If I was arguing with someone, I'm not arguing with someone, because that requires energy that I just don't have. Mental illness takes up a lot of my bodily energy. Anyway, circling back, because how did we get here? Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, do you think... Okay, because here's my idea of the future, at least what I have so far. I'm thinking, like I said, amazing color palettes. Not outlandish, but like out of this world makeup, because if we look back to our Afro-futuristic past, because it's really, we've always been Afro-futuristic. If you look back into what we've been doing before, they were ahead of their time with makeup. Eyeliners are fucking amazing nowadays. Egypt. Face paints and like different designs. African. Different tribes. Queerness has existed since black people. Mesopotamia. Was it Mesopotamia or Sumeria? One of the two. I think it was Sumer. Either way. Black people, because you can't tell me they weren't. Fight me. Any day, anytime. Run me the Addy. I will pull up. If it's out of state, you're flying me out to get your ass beat. Yes, you are. Technologies even, because the fact that the pyramids are still standing 4,000 years later, I think it is.
Only 4? Maybe it is only 4.
I think it's 4,000 years. I don't know. But the point is, them hoes still standing. Because it was BCE.
And they still want to say it was aliens.
Exactly. We are aliens, according to them. Because, you know, why is there such a fight for us to prove that we exist, that we deserve rights, that we're actually legitimate people? First, we started out being 3/5 of...
I know.
I'm sorry, random TikTok flashed in my head. It's all like, I know you like living above the law and it's ACAB, but I don't like feeling unsafe in the car with you because it says 2 people and we only got 1 3/5.
No.
Wow, tangents are so easy to go on.
Well, I'm trying to do the math. So would that be like 6 people are a whole? Or like, you know what I'm trying to do, like...
Yeah. 3/5.
Oh, I got multiply times 5/3 for it to work, huh?
Right. So that's 15 over 15. Which would mean...
I don't understand, though.
We need 15 people for it to be whole quantities? Or rather, we could divide it. We would need 5 people.
Like, 5?
We would need 5 people, because...
Oh, that would equal 3 people.
Wait.
Or like 5 bodies will equal 3 people.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Brain.
I know. That was a really terrible sidetrack that we didn't need to do, but like it was just on my mind, like pressing.
You know, you got 2 smart people who have... I feel like I'm not going to put that on you. I have ADHD. I don't know if you've been diagnosed. I encourage you to get tested in case, if you think you may. But we have a tendency to go on tangents, so I don't know whose fault it is. I'll take the rap. And the burrito. What else would exist in this future? I feel like tribes would evolve into sort of like clans of the Akatsuki almost, where you'd have one member of each tribe come together to form an actual republic, the way the House of Representatives is supposed, and the Senate is supposed to exist, where we have one representative from each space coming to speak for us and taking all of our messages to propel this future. And then bringing it back with the different messages and decisions. And, of course, there's not going to be peace, because I feel like I talked about this. Black-on-black crime exists because of proximity, and not everyone's going to be in agreement 24/7. So since there's no agreement, sometimes we going to throw hands, because are we always going to talk it out like civilized people? Nah, if black people came up with Nuck If You Buck, we not talking. But maybe... Are we self-sustaining in this future?
You should be.
I want to say we're healthily codependent.
Okay.
But also, apparently someone says codependency is, like, unhealthy. But I like to think that, like, we all sort of exist in this, like, situation, like TV shows where you see how everyone sort of knows the choreo randomly in public, even though, like... There's no way all the people would actually know it in real life. Mm-hmm. I like that idea for Afrofuturism because, like, I like to think that there's going to be at least one basic level of, like, in-syncness that we would all have. To, like... I can't think of any non-toxic versions of that. Because all of the phrasings to, like... preserve humanity and everything all stem from like dictators and like toxic cultures. Like preserve the race came from Hitler, so I can't use that one. Well, Hitler and the Latinx community, but specifically white people, because white people are the ones who are trying to preserve for some fucking reason. Anyways, what else exists in this future? I don't... So, I can't say... Like, obviously colorism wouldn't exist in this future, but I can't say that also we wouldn't get to a space where we would still be diverse, yeah, but would we be, like... Would we still have mixed people in the future? Like, would we be seeking out...
I know, right? But what dimension are we in? The, like, not slavery one? Or
well, this one's mine, so I'm trying to figure out, I'm thinking it would kind of be like Alien stories almost, where it's Superman's child being half human, half whatever Superman is. Kryptonian, there we go. Did I just call white people aliens?
I didn't even catch that.
Fuck it, this is too hard. Because I spent so much time learning about this, and it feels like I've never finished learning enough.
I feel it.
I've learned everything that it's not, and I've heard theories on what it could be, but... What were you saying? You thought something?
No, I don't remember.
You gotta remember.
I do, but I'm not remembering.
So you just don't love me. Got it.
Close.
First question. Do you think... I mean, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. Or not self-explanatory, actually, because I want to hear your take on it. Do you think black interrelations need to be better to even have an Afrocentric future?
I think the reason these questions are hard is because my lore is, tainted.
It's tainted by the idea of getting out of this reality.
Yes. So, I keep falling back to that other reality where I'm like...
I'm not even here. I'm in the 6th dimension with Willow right now.
So should I be in this reality for this question?
That's hard for me to answer because I'm not even an expert in this. We're supposed to be exploring this together. Falsely, I might add. Let's just assume you're in that alternate dimension.
That's on my toe.
Well, no. Within an alternate dimension, this would never happen because in your alternate dimension, you sort of erase colonialization.
What's the question?
Colonization, not colonialization. That was too many fucking... do you think black relations need to be fixed in order to maintain or even have an Afrocentric future?
I guess that one's rough in the other dimension because I would be like, they already are.
Right, because there was never any, split to begin with.
Yeah. But I guess if it's in this dimension, I feel like that will just happen. It'll just fall into place. So I don't think that, this unity will happen and then Afrofuturism will come about. I think it's more so that, each...
They'll happen
You know what I mean? So, each person will just start to, kind of adapt this,
protect the race.
No, I'm thinking more so of, because earlier you did mention how, you said that we fit the, definition of Afrofuturist because of how we,
we define the general
and,
structure.
Yeah, so once more people just start to follow that route, it'll just become this whole, you'll unify through that.
Well, I mean, arguably, would we become, again, that still begs the question, would we become a homogenous people in and of ourselves? Because different black people defy different aspects of our status quo, for better or worse. Be it legally doing it or illegally doing it. Some people do it with, wild hair color. Some people doing it with, doing 80 and a 60. You know? Maybe doing 80 and a 60 isn't necessarily Eurocentric. Well, it is the white man's law. Maybe I'll think of something more specific. Some people actively refuse to code switch. There we go. We'll go with that one. Some people refuse to code switch. Some people still insist on tagging their pants. Some people...
Interjection, but I remember the other day I was talking to someone, and so I don't remember what I said, but like, pretty much I did not code switch. I did not try to find like an alternate phrase to use.
Sis
and like,
baby finna slay.
I know, right? And so like, something that irritates me is when people try to act like they don't understand what I say. Like, I feel like it's easy to at least try to use context clues sometimes.
Bitch, you heard what the fuck I said.
You know what I mean? And so that was just a quick interjection just because, like, after you said that, it just came to my, like, mind where I was like, why did he act like he didn't understand what I said? I'm pretty sure you can follow along. Oh, you know what I said.
Microaggressions.
Oh, yeah, huh? I remember what I said. I think I said, like, they were like, oh, do you mind if I play music? And then I said, oh, yeah, you're trying to put me on? And then they were like, excuse me?
How the... Well...
Is that what not, like...
Nah, I would think context clues would definitely feed that one. Cause
oh, really?
Put me... If we're listening to music and you're trying to put me on, what would be the first question to be?
I don't know.
But if we're talking about music being... Oh, well... No, well...
I don't know. That's why I was like...
It could either be smart, in which you take it as put me on... Oh, you mean on the song, or on this dirt, because, you know, pervy. But I like to think we have common sense as people.
Interesting. Yeah. I never asked.
I didn't consider either. We're going to go to the next question. If I remember it correctly, because I'm not checking my phone right now. Oh, yes I do. I remember it. Do we have big foreheads in the future?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a genetic trait for like selected people. So
I feel attacked. I felt very attacked. That's why I remembered it. I'm all like, what was that next question? Fuck, my forehead big as fuck.
It's funny because I don't see it as a big forehead.
Ma'am, I can fit my entire hand on my forehead casually.
Maybe you have a small hand.
I have an oily forehead.
Nah.
This shit cooking. Ooh, I don't know if this is me, cause like I don't know. I wouldn't say this counts as me hating black features necessarily, because I've seen white people with huge foreheads.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it makes me beg the question. I'm like, is that why people say the Saiyans are black? Because Vegeta's forehead is huge as fuck.
Oh, so funny. But other than the Mechians are black.
Everybody black is not black.
In that, like, universe, huh?
Because Piccolo's black, fucking the Saiyans are black. There's so many different theories on black people. But then also Mr. Popo's black, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I guess the reason I thought the Namekians was just because, like, I don't know. I guess the way that they were treated in the show, that's why I was like, okay, that's like...
Maybe that can help us go back to framing our reality from earlier. Take the Dragon Ball theory into place, where you've got all these different sects of black people from entirely different areas, but they're still technically black. It's a black-centric experience.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's a black-centric experience, because if you make everybody in Dragon Ball black, it's an entirely different sort. Well, everyone can't be black because Frieza exists.
Yeah, I'm about to say anyone who's like associated with the Ginyu Force and all those like other people. So I was like, I don't think anyone. Actually, no, I don't think anyone in that spot was black.
Berter and Jace were black.
I don't believe that. Not Jace.
Yeah,
Jace got that like Australian accent. Like I don't think so.
You don't think there are black people in Australia?
Actually, you're right. The indigenous people are black, but still.
No, we don't want to erase them. They're indigenous.
Huh? Oh. Understood.
They're Ocean. I've forgotten. Is it Micronesian or Ocean? One of the two.
Aborigine?
Yes. They could be black. I want to claim them so bad, but they're not black.
Understood.
I want to give them their own identities and respect them for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But also, y'all still invited to the cookout. But using that theory in mind, now we've got all these different types of black people. That actually helps building a different, like, Afrocentric future. Because the way I'm thinking about it like you and I. We're just two black people, but we're black, we're human, we exist in this human realm. Like, if you shave our scalps, whatever happened, we don't got tentacles, we ain't got antenna, we don't have regenerating arms, we don't have tails, you know? So, like, there's an actual diversity amongst these people. Oh my god. I like that. But also, I feel like that now implores a level of like magical realism, because as much as it's not like oonga boonga booga 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 powers with like fucking Billy and Mandy, you're not like throwing your arms up and casting spells, but there has to be a level of like magic, because by definition magic is just, or not definition, it's not actual definition, but what a lot of science teachers tend to tell you, magic is just unexplained science. And so like Kai Blast and stuff, using just, we're going to run with this for a second. Short answer, possibly black people could possibly still have big foreheads in the future, but we're on to something here. We've got a nice juicy fat Easter egg in front of us. What was I saying?
No clue.
Wow.
I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about like Marvel universe and like how like the Avengers are like a military force and that they're like high key imperialist because of how they keep on like leeching vibranium from Wakanda. Because I was just thinking about like,
oh yeah,
like they're like the Avengers are like the only people in that universe who like use vibranium like that, and I was like, oh my god, they're imperialists, just like taking it from Wakanda like it's nothing. But I was in my brain right now.
Isn't that also why they call themselves recruiting the Wakandans, so that they have permission to do it? We're not, but that's a different conversation. Oh,
it's different, but it's like parallel in the sense of like
it's Afrofuturism. But
I was gonna say when you Google Afrofuturism, Wakanda pops up. So like I was just thinking about like,
see, but okay, here's my theory on that. While it exists within the MCU canon, Black Panther is its own subsect. It's entirely like it's the family tree, but it's the one branch on the family tree that ain't got nobody else. And they might give us a Black Panther 2. They better not, honestly. And if they do, they better recap. They better give us the right Storm. They better give us a legitimate, as a matter of fact, change
Storm
the story.
is in that?
Yes.
Oh.
You didn't know?
I mean, she's Marvel, but I didn't think she'd be like...
Oh, no. Storm ended up marrying, for diplomatic reasons, the King of Wakanda. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know that. I don't read... I've just started picking up books, so I've never read those comics.
I'm telling everyone.
Who would you tell?
The
they all heard
me. Everybody. We're gonna cancel you. I don't know how. Okay, had to hydrate. Anyways, how did we get here?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh! Black Panther exists in its own... I feel like it's an alternate dimension to the entire MCU, because for all purposes intended, aside from Vibranium and Black Panther himself, nothing else came from that realm. I mean, I guess you had, I can't think of her name for the life of me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, her character. But, again...
Okoye.
Yes, there we go. Love you. Okay, maybe we can keep her. We had Okoye and Black Panther, but aside from that, we didn't really have any actual... and then there's Shuri in fucking Endgame. Was it Endgame?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it.
Which one comes first? Infinity War? And then... it's part 1 and 2, so Endgame is right before that. Wait, no, Endgame's... You know what? No clue.
Me neither. I don't watch it, and so everything I know about it is by connection, because I'm more of an X-Men stan than I always have been, and then from there I just have always studied different like types of mutants and mutates as opposed to
like SCPs.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm in a different world because I just want to relate.
But circling it all back, Black Panther exists in its own alternate dimension because it's an actual space of Afrocentric futurism where it's an actual black ecosystem off the face of the earth. And this, like, we're assuming from this film and solely this film that white people don't know about this. And while, like the actual movie painted, it exists outside of colonization, outside of interpersonal relations, outside of all these different places and whatnot. It's its own reality. where technology can thrive, people are thriving in its own marketplaces, it's got its own systems of like surveillance and government, and it's maintained cultural practices from the past while simultaneously modernizing. You following me?
You caught me spacing out, huh?
Yes.
I'm still thinking about like
Cheese
wars and stuff. Cheese.
Do you need me to catch you back up really quickly?
Sure. Sorry.
Black Panther's its own space.
Yeah.
It's its own Black Haven.
Oh, I did hear most of that. Yeah.
It's sort of. I would imagine it to exist in a snow globe almost, where the world in the snow globe is its own world, but it's a world within a world.
Got you. Yeah.
Now, we're gonna unpack that question. Do you think Afrofuturism would exist like that? We would be our own bubble inside the world.
Maybe. Because you know how I keep like reverting it back to that dimension where like
right,
we're just, I guess I just keep putting us like all black folk in one space.
So you think the Scarlet Witch created our own dimension for us to exist in?
She did, huh? I mean, I guess Shuri, if it's like, if it's an Afrocentric universe, then I don't think Scarlet Witch would do it for us. Like I think that like
Shuri invented something.
Yeah. She got the Mind Stone and used magic to create
Sis
it.
do be having the juice. Actually, Wiccan's boyfriend is black. So if I'm not mistaken, Wiccan's boyfriend is black.
Who's Wiccan? Why are you pouting? Like, did we not just cover this like 10 seconds ago that I don't know?
It's too much information to try and convey. We're just
okay. We're just not gonna talk
about it. Wiccan's boyfriend isn't black. Wiccan's brother's boyfriend is black. But still, it's gonna be black in that family. Worst case scenario, Wiccan or Wiccan's brother. Wait, no, because that would be incest. Fuck! That idea doesn't work.
I don't think we'll exist inside of a bubble. Like, I'm gonna get out of the dimension I created and just put it back to reality, and I don't think it'd be its own bubble.
So then we did cure racism.
I want to believe. I feel like, oh my god, that's so rough. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we just created like 10,000 different like definitions of what Afrofuturism is. It's just that now I just can't. I don't know.
The problem with it being black centered future is what is a black future?
Yeah, I guess
there is no a black future, and the worst part I found in a lot of all this theory is that in these black centric futures, it's dependent on the artist's gaze and view.
Yeah, because I keep trying to build this like
Escapist.
utopian, yeah, and so then you like interject and be like, no.
And mine is dystopian because I kind of wanna fuck shit up, but like have us finally be on the winning side for once. But also in this being on the winning side for once, I don't know that because as much as I make the joke about the race war it'll never actually happen because it's too muddy. Because everyone in the middle, like Asian people are not white, but they're considered marginal to whiteness, but they're still oppressed, so they would fall on the black side by default. Especially considering they have dark-skinned Asians. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm wondering, is it just we have all the light or lighter-skinned people finding and deciding their side versus the like light-skinned people or versus the dark-skinned people? And that's how it would work in the race war, where it's actively white versus black, quite literally? Or is it white versus black in our social constructs? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's go to the last question. What do you think anything that we have currently is integral to the Afro future? I suppose I'm unpacking this question. I'm like, is this me in this future? And if I had a backpack, or if they found like a time capsule or something, what was something I would want from the past or whatever? The past being now.
Oh, can I like say any 90s aesthetic?
I support that. I want to keep my fucking overalls no matter what time.
Yeah, right. I think that I keep like thinking about like Family Matters, Fresh Prince, and like what's the one I'm thinking about? Like Living Single.
For me,
I guess I would say
gonna
Martin
like,
too, huh?
I said for me it would be more like Moesha, also Living Single. Maybe A Different World. Give me a little.
A Different World is what I was thinking of earlier, but except for isn't Jim Carrey in that?
a different. But yeah, there's a white girl too, but it's
Yeah.
but it's also Afrocentric.
It is. So that's why I was thinking that like I think that like those are like not that they're defining moments per se, even though I do think they are. I think it showed a lot of like who was in the writing room, who was directing it, who was like actually releasing these shows, and like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
it was actual black people doing the black people.
Yeah, like if we had our own like WandaVision like in our future.
Monica Vision, maybe?
I know, right? But still, it would be like, what shows would you be like inspired by instead of like, you know, the Dick Van Dyke Show and like Malcolm in the Middle like she was inspired by?
Mm-mm.
It would be like the shows we just listed.
Right. Or even before that, we would have like the Jeffersons and
yeah, huh? What was the other one? Oh my god, the one with Florida.
Not different strokes. That was the white people version.
I know. It was.
You said Family Matters.
No. Her name was Florida.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Oh, no, the Sanford and Son too, but that's not
that one too. But it's like the same channel.
I know. Oh my god, my mom is going to drag me if she hears this.
And then like they one day the dad died of a heart attack in the hospital. Ooh. And then the son was all like, all right. And he would like spin. Oh my god, I'm going to die. I need to know. I'm going to have to Google it.
It's JJ. And I can all the fucking characters. Good times.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
I have to sing through the fucking.
I know, right?
I hate us.
It's funny.
I gotta ask. Is it just those shows that are influencing us, or are we putting to bed the like mammy trope and stuff like that, or we have like?
I think so because like, I think that in this future, it's like what you'd want to see yourself as, kind of like that. Like that is what would be projected in media, projected in like culture, projected through art. Is like where you like what you want to see. So like, I don't necessarily think many people or anyone out there wants to see themselves as a mammy archetype. Like.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think that would continue in the future.
I mean, I hate that it's an archetype, but the mammy technically does exist, because I hate to say it this way, but our moms and our grandmoms are technically the mammy, as well as the sapphire, the vixen. Like, they're not all just one thing. They're nurturing and caring, not necessarily to the white folks. So maybe the mammy itself would be put to bed, because they didn't care to actually take care of white folks. It was a job. But, like, they're nurturing, they're caring, they're sassy, they're typically wide hip because mamas lived a long life. And I mean, sometimes our grannies and stuff are skinny, but for the most part, them ham hocks, them greens, that mac and cheese, it's all in them thighs. It's all in them hips. It's all in that ass. That ass is gonna hit the wall when you hit that corner. Like, it's like, the woman that's not gonna take no back talk, but she's also gonna give you a warm hug. She's gonna ask you if you ate, but she's also not gonna take no foolishness from nobody down the street. You know, I don't know how to explain. The problem with stereotypes is there's always a level of truth to all of them. Like, the stereotype was like black people enjoying grape drink, for example. It was because it was one of the most affordable drinks during the time, and then because it was most affordable, other people stopped drinking it because white people didn't want to be associated with that shit. So black people were the only consumers of it. It's a hard life. I guess we technically answered each for our own selves, but now we're at this impasse where it's all like, kill the mammy. No, don't kill her. Wait. Because if we kill mammy, then we got to kill Big Mama. Do we want to kill Big Mama and Nana and Granny and all them?
I guess I'm just confused.
Talk to me.
I don't know how to explain it. Like,
spit it out. Just
look. I know, right? I'm trying to find like words, like, because I feel like it moved me, like not negatively per se, but let's say there was like an alignment scale. It did not move positive. You know what I mean?
You still want to kill the mammy, but like more now.
Like, yeah, I don't know, but I think it's just that like when I envision mammy, I envision like just like that hardcore like.
Yes, Mr. Massa. Eyes are gonna clean
literally,
house up for you.
what's her name? Sister Crone from like Promised Neverland is what I'm imagining,
Mm-hmm.
and like,
oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I see.
And so that's what I'm envisioning. So
the
even
role
though,
of
like,
servitude, the constant like,
and then even like the character design. So that's why I was kind of like, I mean, I think you could have like portrayed her as being someone who like
multifaceted, but instead she just
like,
felt like a mammy.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that, like, I would totally love to kill it, because I think that we could still portray our mothers, grandmothers, and everything as nurturing and, like, sassy people, but without that archetype. Like, you can just have, like, a simple character design.
You're right.
And I think it's just that, like, I mean, most of my family, at least all the ones I've known, they're, like, men. So maybe that's why I never got to experience, like, someone who might fit the description, but, like, my mom, grandma, and aunts don't fit that description. So I guess that, like, it's not that, like, I guess, like, it hits home in a sense of, like, oh, I don't think of them like Sister Crone, but, like,
it's a difficult thing to try and, like, get all the way through.
Yeah.
I feel that. But on a lighter note, we're moving into the next segment, which is Plug in New Roots. Each of us, do you remember how it goes, or you want me to run through it real quick?
You can run through it.
Each of us is going to come up with a list of 5 songs. We can either do it list style, or we can do it back and forth. Which would you like? Back and forth?
It doesn't matter to me.
We can... I like the back and forth because we can explain why we chose that song. But basically, for this week, it's always pertaining to the topic, and this week I want you to give me 5 songs that help feed your, like, experience of Afrofuturism, or helps you think of Afrofuturism, or maybe even what inspires you to be Afrofuturistic. Because, like I said, the two of us are pretty, like, Afrofuturistic in my opinion. What would you say are, like, 5 songs to your, like...
I do have a question. Is there any type of, like, restriction? Like...
No.
Okay. So I can't list, like, white artists?
I mean, you can.
I know you prefer me not to, huh?
I can't stop you, but, like, you can. Cause, like,
I think it's just that it's rough because we are not living in that okay, maybe we are, but, like, at least in the 80s. Okay, maybe the 80s too. Okay, there's some of the dimensions
in a material world.
I was gonna say some of the, like, dimensions that I exist in, they're not Afrofuturist. So then, like, it's really hard for me to be like, oh, okay, like, here's a song in this genre that...
Argument to your defense, they become Afrofuturists at the point when you take those identities, fuse it with your own life, and center your own self within them.
Dude.
Because, like, even within the punk experience, you would definitely have punk hairstyles and inspired by punk hairstyles, but you would do it with your natural hair, as opposed to trying to, like, straighten your hair or, like, any of that type of stuff. So, I mean, it works out.
True.
So, do your thing. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Doesn't matter. You choose.
Guess first.
Okay. I was Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus.
I support that.
Yeah.
But I want to know why.
I know, right? You have to know why. If you know Q Lazarus, like
I know
that story is literally about how, like, she got rejected.
Oh no, sir!
That
I must say you're wrong.
That whole story is literally about how she got rejected by her label, or, like, trying to, like, join a label. It's because she wasn't marketable as a new wave artist at the time.
They didn't
because
see
new
a
wave
space for her in the future.
Because new wave was, like, all, like, skinny, like, funny looking white men, and so they were like, you don't fit any of those descriptions, therefore we cannot, like, market you. So she got that song, Bought Her Feelings, and that's literally, like, a new wave essential.
For me, I think the first song I want to do, it's an ode to it's an Afrofuturistic song in and of itself. I want to say it was the 70s when the song came out. Don't Stop the Music.
By, Yarns and Peoples or something like that?
I think so. I think that's their name. Hold on, let me... I want to get this right, and I don't want to butcher this.
Because if it is, I think that's 80s.
Man, please.
That's 80s! That's somebody in Peoples. I can't remember the name.
Yarbrough and Peoples.
Yarbrough, I said Yarns.
I remember the puppets. You know, they want to
I know.
No!
I know, that song is so good.
But tell me it doesn't feel like the future to you.
Oh, I think every, like, song in that, like...
Somewhere between, from disco to, like...
Literally, right?
And even still the 90s, too. It all felt like we were transported somewhere.
I know. I think that, though, a lot of, like, artists are not... I'm going to say black artists are not giving their credit for molding a lot of the genres that I like. And I'm gonna say synth pop too, and like new wave and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, literally.
Funk, like, as a genre.
It is like synth pop. Like, I know.
What would you say your second song is?
I guess I want to say "Countdown to Love" by
Phil Collins?
No, Phil Gaines. I can't remember his last name, but
I'll find it in the research list.
yeah, but I guess it's kind of like why I say that. I think it's just that like it's one of those songs where I can like definitely like tie the synth pop roots back to it. It's like a 1981 song, I think, maybe even before that, but it's just so good, and I don't have any like valid reasoning behind it. Just wanted to bring it up.
My second song is gonna be a twofer, actually. Well, it's one artist, but two different songs by the same artist. Daft Punk, because they've also given us two, by extension, two also Afrofuturistic artists / songs. Harder, Faster, Stronger, and Technologic. Because by extension, we also have Touch It by Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
And Stronger by Kanye West. Ooh, I'm sorry. We have to take it to the future. Drag me later, people. We're keeping Kanye.
I have that album on vinyl. I don't know. That wasn't pertinent. I just really love Daft Punk.
Such a good album.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the Discovery by Daft Punk.
Oh, yeah, you do. I forgot.
I have it on vinyl and I have it on CD because that's all that was playing in my car for about 3 years. And then I moved to Random Access Memories and that's all that played in my car for about a year. And then the CD player stopped working.
You know, it do be like that sometimes. Yeah. What would you say your number 2 is?
My legs hurt. My number 2.
Wait, did I say number 3? I'm sorry.
Why would you erase Greg?
Is Greg black?
Yeah. Because I think if you play back the recording, I think I said that a few times.
I don't recall you saying anything about Greg being black.
I did.
Talk to me.
Maybe Computer Love by Zapp and Roger.
Rub your feet together right now.
Oh, that's not nice.
Hold on, let me.
No. Cammy!
Oh, my head hurts.
Mine does too.
I'm gonna go with a transition to a modern era. A more modern Afrofuturistic artist, I think, is what's his face? I can't. What's his face? Thundercat. I hate that. Right? Like this man is amazing on bass, but like as an artist, especially the specific song I wanted to do, "Them Changes," gives me soundtrack to like intro to a future film of some sort. Like I feel like there's no way I didn't see this coming. Or either intro, maybe outro, possibly soundtrack. But it's in the... I feel like, nope, it's definitely in the film at some point. It's gotta be. Nope, it's definitely the main character's, like, fucking theme song. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the main character's theme song. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. And then the second... I feel like I really want to just do a bunch of songs for this one. So I'm going to do another 2 for... I'm sorry. You're going to take this song and you're going to like it. Bootsy Collins.
Oh, I knew it. I was saying him for number 5.
I'm sorry. Let's make sure we're not doing the same song. What song were you gonna do?
I guess I'd rather be, huh?
That's the one everyone knows, but
yeah, maybe I just use Funkadelic, Low Key, or Parliament.
That works. I was just gonna go. Well, I mean, Parliament Funkadelic is technically Bootsy Collins, but it's the full group. I was gonna do Bring the Funk.
Oh.
I feel fucked up now because I'm like, that's not just Bootsy Collins, it was Parliament Funkadelic. Either way! That's number 3 for me. Number
That's
4.
3?
Yes, I was
Oh my
only at number
gosh.
3 because I took 5 years to fucking decide on what song I wanted to do. I know.
I'll just say 2 by Dean Blunt.
Who? Huh? What?
You're pointing at me. What do I do?
Explain.
I don't know. It just sounds nice.
Oh, like, tell me about the song because I've not heard it, is what I mean by explain.
It's highest possible key, a cover. It's a cover of a song by Joe and Donnie Emerson, but I think that it's a cool spin on it. I think it's just kind of like taking an older song and making it sound modern, but like it's a cool modern question mark.
So like postmodern jukebox kind of situation?
Dang, now I want to talk about dang funk, huh?
I was gonna say kind of like postmodern jukebox situation, or not like that.
I am gonna have to be honest and say I don't know, but it's kind of like Dean Blunt is like a really experimental, like sub hip hop type of genre, like artist, and so like he took this like slow 60s rock song and made it into that style, or remade it into that style, and so a lot of cool stuff going on. So I just think it's cool.
That makes sense. My number 4 is going to be a 4-way split.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know.
You say 5 songs, and I think you've already given me 12.
Mind your fucking business, okay?
Is this my business?
No. Yes. Partially. Anyways, I would be remiss because I have to do a 4-way split because I was gonna do a song. I wanted to do a song from the 90s, but the problem is there were. Wait, hold on. One of these might be okay. 90s, 2000s. But I would be remiss to not talk about. Wait, no, hold on. I can take off one. Wait, can I? No, I'm gonna give him his own light as opposed to like the extension because I talked about it in Daft Punk earlier, but Busta Rhymes is one of them. We're gonna do Where My Eyes Can See, I think is the name of the song, or If You Really Wanna Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Yeah, I think that's the name of the song, Where My Eyes Can See. Whatever it is, I'll have it corrected on the actual playlist, but we'll do that as one of them because, like, and then on the alternate side of that coin, we'll do Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly, because that fish islands really was iconic. It took us out of the world. I could do so many different Missy Elliott songs, but I want to do Super Duper Fly, or should I do She's a Bitch? What do you think is better? Not better, but
more appropriate. I think the first appropriate for the setting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then outside of those, technically we also had the fisheye with this one too, but it was more so I was talking to the aesthetic. TLC, No Scrubs.
Oh, true. I thought you were gonna say Mo Money, Mo Problems.
No.
Because that was also in the fisheye and the cheese grater, but
No. TLC, No Scrubs.
Okay.
This is the song I was gonna go with, but also just because like I'm imagining through the video of, I want to do one more, but I'm not gonna do that. Maybe you'll think it because I'm just gonna send these brainwaves to you.
I already had a song and I lost it.
If you could see the awkward stare we just fucking shared right now,
I had to write it down in my brain, so then like
where you scribble it, on the left noodle or the right noodle?
Lost it.
Well, the 4th song, where was I? Okay, so I did Busta Rhymes, Outkast, Rosa Parks. Cause fucking 3 Stacks was an icon before his time.
Aha, hush that fuzz.
Yes! 3 Stacks, don't ever listen to this. Cause 3 Stacks can get it. Even to this day, I'm sorry. He been fine. He's still gonna be fine. Forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever.
I don't know.
Okay, what's your number 5?
Your eye scared me right now.
Why?
I thought the red was like on the white part of your eye. So then I was like,
Demon?
no, I was like, did you like laugh too hard and like break a blood vessel? Because I was like, that's what it looked like. But I got scared, that's all. Have you ever had that happen before?
Yes.
Really?
Well, not laughing too hard, but I have broken a blood vessel.
Your eye?
Yes.
No, don't do that.
It wasn't on purpose, and then it just turned brown too, and it was weird because it matched with my eye. Cause like as it like not dries out, but like I have chronic dry eye, so it gets to a point where like sometimes it just be like I guess oxidizing.
Ew, why you tell me that?
You asked.
No.
You did. Let the record reflect that she not just asked about me popping a
I
blood
don't
vessel in
believe
my.
that.
Oh, a word. We just gonna deny it now?
I don't believe that.
What's your song number 5?
I don't know. I told you I lost it.
Okay, think of one on the spot.
Why are you being mean to me?
Can I pitch you a song potentially?
No.
Can I pitch you an artist maybe and let you pick a song? Or a family of artists?
No. I'll think of one. Give me 2 minutes.
2
minutes is a long time. Give me a minute. See, if you do that though, my brain is gonna get all.
I'm twerking and I know I'll clap these. You do also have to realize there's no background air on this, so I was just sort of doing the Jeopardy.
Yeah, okay, I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Damn. Oh, I guess that's true.
You don't have to though.
I know, but now I feel like I do. So now
Janet.
No, I mean yeah, but now I think I'm gonna have to say "Another Part of Me" by Michael Jackson.
Not the song I was thinking of at all. We were talking Afrofuturism, and then the first thing came to mind was the
I think
video.
That this is very fitting, and the reason I'm gonna say that
I wasn't saying you're wrong.
No, I know, but you asked me to explain my reason.
Yes, please. I enjoyed the explanation. I just felt attacked.
Oh.
You're like, I think.
I don't know how to like start it now.
You think it's very fitting?
Can I still say anything?
Yes.
You're not gonna feel attacked?
Oh, you really gonna make me feel like a snowflake?
I think
on my own show.
That this song is very fitting because I remember in the 80s when it came out that he had his own like future themed show at the Epcot Center at like the Florida Disney World, and so like that was like it was like this whole like adventure that was starring Michael Jackson, and it was like 3D and all that stuff. And so like if you think about it, like he was like a black main character in a science fiction like film.
Technically that counts. I see.
So you see why it's fitting?
Yes.
And like he was like fighting aliens and all that stuff, so it's like I don't know. I thought it was pertinent.
No. I like it. I like the adventure. I'm also There's so many artists, but I'm gonna bring it back to modern day. One more twofer, because I said 5 songs, but I should have said 5 slots. How about that? I'll probably correct that going forward. 5 slots, because...
Oh, it was called Captain EO.
Because we're way past 5 songs at this point. It's definitely my fault, because you've been giving 1 song. I'm going to split it between Chloe and Halle, both looking at their visual for Ungodly Hour, but also looking at the visual for Warrior. And just listening to a lot of their different, like, music. And Janelle Monáe, because this woman has been the Archandroid, I forgot what the full fucking title is. Anyways, the song I want to do from Janelle Monáe is Locked Inside, and the song I want to do from Chloe and Halle, I think actually is gonna be Deep Dive. Give me just a second. Cue the music. Oh, Royal. That was the song. I never think of it by its actual, like, name title. I always think Rest of Your Life, because I'll be singing it, and that's what Royal stands for. ROYL, Rest of Your Life. But yeah, that's my song number 5, because, like... just I don't even need to explain. You'll hear it as you go through this playlist and then thank us later, and you'll add to this playlist too because it's collaborative. And I'm telling y'all this, but y'all don't be listening. That also means now you have homework, Destiny. You have to go back and listen to the other episodes and add in on those playlists. Haha. No, you don't, but I encourage you to. Because, it's supposed to be an immersive experience. If I'm on there with 12 songs and you have 5 songs, that's my 12 songs and your 5 songs. I want to know what musically you want to add to this conversation. But anyways, we're going to move to our final segment, Turning Over a New Leaf, where we provide a little bit of advice / insight to either our past selves, to the audience, to the future, if that's what you want to do, or speaking to the future. It's just meant to be words of importance. It can be informational, it can be advice, it can be warning, it can be whatever you want it to be. Excuse me.
We're sending out a major love, and this is my message to you. We're bringing brighter days. I don't know.
Finish.
I don't remember.
Finish!
I don't know my monologue.
She forgot. Line,
no.
Is that really what you wanted to say, or were you just messing with us?
It's a mix of both. I wasn't prepared. And so,
you went into it and
I'm
you
very,
were you want to search up your lines? Oh my god. I just need you to understand, if looks could kill, I would have died as soon as I asked that question, because I'm like, bitch. I'm scared to go to sleep tonight, because Destiny just might try and kill me.
The planets are lining up. We're bringing brighter days, and they're all in line, waiting for you. Can't you see? You're just another part of me.
I love that. I think my advice is going to be, dare to be different, dare to be weird, because, like I said in the title of this, being weird is sort of what got me, or I didn't even specify that earlier. Being weird is sort of what got me to this space where I can imagine, at least, or consider even, an Afro future where I feel like even if I don't know exactly what that future looks like, I know that I would be a part of it. And it's not to say that, my normal, quote-unquote, black people wouldn't be a part of it. It's just...
Oh.
When I imagine this future, and maybe it's my own privilege, I'm imagining this future. I don't imagine it with all these different things that have been in the world already. I'm imagining this and going, I don't know what's in this future because I know all this shit I want to leave behind. I want to take only small, minute facets of it with me. Which I never answered the backpack question.
I don't know. I don't think I did either. Wait, I said the 90s.
You said you want to take the 90s with you. Oh, well, I guess I agreed with you. I'll take it. I said I wanted my overalls.
Oh, yeah.
But just daring to be yourself, because it helps expand your imagination. It truly allows you to imagine a world where you can see yourself in its, not only, if not as its sole existence, but as in the forefront in the existence. Because for me, I know I'm the main character in my story, and I live my life like I'm the main character in this story. Unfortunately, this isn't an Afrocentric world, or maybe it is an Afrocentric world, because it's my world, and I'm Afro, and I'm the center of it. But allow yourself the right to be imaginative. Cultivate your inner child. Be weird. Be fun. Don't tell yourself no because you fear what other people are going to think. Tell yourself no because it's not what you want to do. Or tell yourself yes because it's what you want to do. One of my favorite things, and this isn't necessarily about me, but this is actually about you, Destiny. One of my favorite things is watching you get dressed, because when you get dressed, it's not necessarily the most rule, like, it works in and of it, like, it works all together for its own function, and it actually looks nice together, but for all purposes intended, it's not following any of the natural rules of fashion. Where it's all like, you pick a color that's themed with your outfit, and you choose an accent color, or you want to go neutral, and you want to do this type of shoe. You're like, I want to wear rainbow tevas and cheetah print. And you'll fucking make it work. Or if it doesn't work, you'll wear it like it fucking does. And that's daring to be weird, daring to be unique, daring to be yourself. I love that. Destiny, do you have any upcoming projects coming up? Anything you want to tell the people about?
I don't know. Maybe I'll start streaming again, but that's unforeseeable future. Wi-Fi sucks and like
Also influx.
Lags.
I know.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
Twitch. Twitter. I think those are the only two I'll make publicly available because my Instagram's cringe.
But
and private. I mean, I did have an 80s fashion account that I could have,
But where can we find you at all these locations though? What's the tag?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what was being asked. I was like, you can't find me anywhere. I don't exist on this realm, remember? But like, you're talking to me through this like portal device. But I guess Datamosher, it's like spelled the same and differently everywhere because sometimes the O is a 0, sometimes the E is a 3, sometimes they're not. So I don't know.
I'll just have to put it in the description box.
Yeah.
Please look below. It's where you can find this week's playlist as well as everywhere and any other further details about the episode. Do you have any final remarks before we close?
They're sending
Thank you
out-
for coming as always. I am your host, La Rosa, aka La Rosa Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty. And thank you as always for letting me be myself. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, y'all.